MLS has done a great job of making the sport accessible. I credit them with jump-starting grassroots football, making sure this country has academies young players can grow and learn from. But has MLS reached the peak of their reach? So, a little backstory. So I got the idea for this video watching the inaugural match at Goldis Park, of course now the home of Nashville SC. As I was watching, it got me thinking about something. Nashville now has the largest soccer-specific stadium in the U.S., and all of that is wonderful, but I couldn't help but think, now how does Nashville keep those 30,000 fans coming back week after week? How does every club do that? I think there's been an issue of clubs doing quite poorly in attendance, and I know there's multiple reasons for that. But I'm afraid MLS has become a kind of novelty experience. Like, hey, there's a new team, or hey, our team is opening their new stadium. Let's go to say that we went. You know what I mean? I had this concern with Charlotte as well, after they recorded an astonishing 74,479 spectators. And then the following week, the attendance was less than 25,000, I believe. Trying to catch the attention of casual soccer fans is all good. Seattle recorded over 68,000 fans at the CCL final, which is fantastic. But for me, clubs have to do a better job of keeping those fans, keeping them engaged with games, schedules, players, all of that. I saw a lot of people complaining before this season even started that they didn't even know MLS was back in a couple of weeks. Their clubs hadn't done enough, and that's a shame. For a league that's trying to grow and be the league of choice, you'd think it would be a good idea to let consumers know their local team is back, soccer fan or not. And that lends itself to my next point. How did we get football into the minds of American sports fans? There's obviously tons of ways to do this. But one of the things I've noticed is the lack of MLS coverage. Yes, MLS has a YouTube channel, but what good is that when you're trying to rope in new fans? You turn on any sports coverage show. Sports media half the time forgets that MLS exists. And soccer isn't the only sport that suffers the fate of being second or third rate to NFL or basketball. I mean, even halfway into the NFL offseason, sports media are still talking about football. Americans won't embrace what's not right in front of them. Soccer is the sport of new America. Conservative Americans who have a vendetta against the sport deal with it. I think the best way to go about it is get Americans talking about the Champions League and the Premier League. I can see a lot of people rolling their eyes right now, but the truth is, the American product is what got a lot of people into soccer in the first place. These two competitions are in the middle of the pinnacle of the sport. They host some of the best players, therefore they're the best example of what soccer players can do, what happens in a game, and why we got into soccer in the first place. You can watch 1,000 leagues, but the hard truth is, some leagues and some games are only entertaining when they have goals. But because players in lower leagues don't have the tactical IQ, the technical ability, among other things, games that involve lower level teams can be quite boring. Take the English Championship, for example. Horrible football without goals. Hell, it's terrible with goals. A game between Man City and Liverpool, while quite unlikely, can end in a goalless draw. Odds are it wouldn't be boring because those teams have such excellent attacking talent, there'd be so many chances, it wouldn't feel like it was a goalless draw. This is all a part of my larger point. Football is so much more than goals. It's about players showing off their skills, tactical understanding and awareness. It's a game of space. Soccer is chess on a big grass field. You can see so much more at a game with goals obviously included, which is what you don't get at a game at the lower level. For Americans to understand football, you have to show them the sport's best on offer, the highest level.